spring is in the air. It's almost 60 degrees today, so I thought it'd be really good to go out and do some yoga, enjoy this beautiful weather. It's really nice, and I'm very excited about this spring weather. As I'm getting older, I'm getting more and more nostalgic about the good old simple times. And more specifically, I'm thinking about the time when I did not own any devices, didn't have a phone or a laptop. I got my first smartphone that had music and extra things when I was in bachelor's, and I got my laptop after finishing my bachelor's. So that wasn't too far ago, but it just feels like so far ago when I think about the time. And I'm trying to think like what are the things I did back then when I did not have a device to scroll through. Like right now, if I have a free time waiting for the bus or waiting for an elevator to come by, immediately we pull our phones up and start scrolling just to ensure we did not miss something that's happening in the world. And back then, there were definitely dull moments. There was times when I was not busy, I was not attending classes or not studying, waiting for the bus or just walking. But somehow, I did not have the need because my brain hadn't adapted to constantly being engaged in some sort of activity or some sort of dopamine hit that we are so addicted to right now. And maybe because of that, because I did not have this constant need to scroll, I have so many vivid memories even from so many years ago. We did not need any television or iPhones to entertain ourselves. As long as all our family was together, we made fun, just having fun and sharing a laugh together. So, why I'm talking about this? I'm not just talking about this to be nostalgic about the good old times. And I'm also not trying to tell anyone that phones are terrible and we should get rid of our phones and social media apps. No, because it is a necessity now and it's a tool that helps us stay connected with our friends and family across the world and keeps us up to date with what's happening around the world, which is important. But I have noticed something that I'm sure a lot of us can relate to. When I put my phone down after getting caught up with the news, with my friends, I still have this urge to pick up and see what I missed. Sometimes I'm not even aware I'm scrolling. Other times I pick up my phone to do something, but instead end up checking all these apps and forget why I picked up my phone in the first place. What is the solution then? For me, solution is not deleting all these apps because I will simply fill those time with some other apps. For me, it is simply about self discipline and knowing what is at stake. I want to experience life by immersing myself into it and not getting distracted by phone. I want to have memories of this life that we're living. I don't want to forget what happened yesterday, what did I eat for lunch today. So I want to be fully present when I'm talking to my friends or family and not disrespect their time by looking at my phone constantly. So that's what is at stake for me personally. I want to start consuming with purpose and intentionality. Instead of letting the algorithm feed me constant slew of content, I want to consume intentionally. I want to search for things that I want to watch. And I also want to start moving away from all things digital and change small things into analog. Sometimes just having a watch, like we pick up our phones to check time, and instead of checking time, I end up spending 15 minutes on my phone for some reason. As opposed to just having a clock or a watch, I would just be able to see the time and that's it. Think about digital planners. There are so many apps to plan things for you, plan your task, plan all these projects. But they end up actually making things more complicated and I end up getting nothing accomplished because I'm so hung up with the plan and the templates. So I spend more time planning things than actually doing things. Sometimes a simple notebook with nice checklist, pen and paper is the way to go. So I want to get rid of my digital planner and start writing notes with pen and paper, and also takes me away from using my phone. I also want to consider having music solutions outside of my phone. That is probably a stretch goal. For my reading, instead of using my phone to read, I have a different iPad, and where I don't have any other apps. All I have is my library book and Kindle to read from. Even though it's a digital book, because those are easier to access, I have it separated from my phone. And I may not be able to do everything at once. I'm not saying I'm going to stop using my phone altogether, but every little bit that I can do will reduce my screen time and also helps me think better when I'm doing things physically in analog fashion. At the end of all this, the reason I want to try limit my screen time is I want to get in touch with myself. I want to be more creative, create art that I love. I want to be inspired from the content that I consume and not let the content consume me. And remember why I actually consume instead of getting lost in the sea of content.